Hey guys, welcome to the RoundTable, episode 83. I am Jenny Walker, the social media ministry leader here at Life. And this is our pastor, Mike Hill, sitting over there. And to the left of me, we have somebody that just helped us out today. And
Wait, what's her title?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
I've been sitting here thinking, I can't wait.
Why?
I don't know.
You think I'm going to mess her title up?
No, I'm just like, what is her title?
Well, it's the worship leader. Ministry leader.
It's not the official title.
Okay, well, what is the official? This is Corinne Bates.
Hello, Corinne Bates. Yes. The official title, I think, on our website is Worship Arts Ministry Leader.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
See, Everybody has a really cool title.
They do.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, you could have been senior pastor, but you turned that
true.
down every single time.
Old man pastor. Old man pastor.
Just put
old man pastor.
Old farmer pastor.
The old man. You know what? I almost wore my bib Sunday.
You should have.
You should have.
Did you see Troy with his cutoff?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Cobra Kai that I didn't even know existed still. I thought that was clear back in when you used to watch Karate Kid when you were a kid.
They remade it, I think.
That's what he said. It's into like a show now. And
Is it a show or is it a movie?
I think it's a show.
It is?
Yeah, and it's like the guys grew up.
Oh, like the
still
actual
don't
guy?
like each other.
Something like that.
You don't watch it?
No, I don't.
Oh, he told me it's like way popular on Netflix and people watch, and it's called Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen the original one either.
Yeah.
Ever.
Neither have I, actually.
Yeah.
Not
Karate Kid.
into Karate Kid.
Nope.
No,
So
not like
Corinne,
that.
because I've been wanting to ask you this, and so we haven't had a chance
Oh, gosh.
to like.
Oh, here we go.
So I have two questions for
Okay.
you. One, are you really a Grinch when it comes to Christmas?
Oh no, I love Christmas.
You do.
It just went with I'm going to slowly scale up this week because this is modest Christmas attire.
Okay.
And so it's only Tuesday. So I'm going to scale it
You're
up as
ramping
we
it
get.
up?
Yes.
So for Eve, is it going to be like a full-blown Christmas
Well,
outfit?
Eve, I'll be dressed nice, but Friday I'll have all my Christmas stuff on.
Like what? Like,
She has a-
how about when you're up there for Sunday for Eve, can you wear the lights around your neck that flash?
I don't have any of those.
Well, what
I'm
if
sad
Nick
about
got them
that.
for you?
Well, she
Then-
can't do it Sunday at Eve.
No, I said for Eve.
You said Sunday.
say
Okay, I'm
Sunday.
saying for Friday night.
Thank
can
you.
you wear like something and wear
False
the hat that
news.
has lights in it?
Fake news.
Would you do it?
Not Eve. Not Eve.
That would be amazing.
She'll bring it.
Is
I
the
would've last
Eve like
week.
you have to dress up for Eve?
Yeah, it's
Is that a
nice.
thing?
It's nice dress. Yes, I make my band dress a little nicer.
Oh, crap.
Wow.
Not
Is
you
that-
guys. You guys are back in the
No,
back.
I mean, is that like a real thing?
Yeah.
You're supposed to dress nicer?
Yeah.
Well, we just a little nicer.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, like
I didn't know that.
For Easter and Eve, we
Yeah.
just bump it up just a little bit. So
Wow.
like Troy wore a blue, I think, polo for Easter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this a thing like all the way around Life Church? Everybody's supposed to be looking nicer?
I feel
don't
like
think
you never
everyone.
like got Easter outfits or Christmas outfits like when you were younger. Like specifically, like specially buying stuff for that.
I had like this sparkle dress I always
Yes.
wore for Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Are you doing that again?
No.
with some tights
Actually,
underneath.
Jenny brought me some clothes because I don't
did.
know what I'm wearing yet.
I did.
I don't think I've ever seen you in a dress.
That's okay.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't like wearing dresses.
Okay. Well, I mean, you said like the sparkle
No,
dress like it
no,
was
yeah.
something you loved.
I loved it at the time, but
Okay.
it was very scratchy as well.
yeah, it was.
But
Got it.
right in your
What do you mean,
armpits.
yeah, it was? Did
I
you
mean,
wear it
I
too?
know sparkly dresses like it being younger. Yeah,
Okay.
you wear like the tights
and the
underneath.
tights, and the crappy shoes that make your ankles really cold and you're really frigid all the time.
Yep,
That's
freezing.
what dresses do.
Well, and
yeah.
for Christmas Eve, because you're walking through the snow and it's cold
Got it.
out.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's-
no, I never got the memo that we're supposed to dress up.
Well, you don't have to, I guess, but just don't
Yeah. So-
don't wear something stupid.
yeah.
Don't wear something stupid.
Nah.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, well, it's going to be through like the 5 or 6 things, 7 things I have in my house
there you
right
go.
now.
Perfect.
Right.
Because
Just
all the
pick right
rest
through
of the stuff
there.
Huh?
Pick right through them.
Yeah, we'll find something. Okay, so you're not wearing the necklace
No.
or the light up hat.
I'm sorry,
Are you,
no.
Jenny? Do you dress up? Do you get the memo? Do you
I
dress
mean,
up?
Yeah, typically I usually do. It just depends. But for Eve, if I'm running around, I'm debating what I'm going to wear.
Have you been thinking about this? And
Oh,
why
yes.
Why did you get?
I've
Corinne,
ordered-
Why did you get Corinne clothes?
Because I had asked her to.
Yeah.
I bought a red shirt that I thought would be cute, but Luke went when I put it on. And so I was like, ooh, maybe not. So
Wait a
kind of
second.
so now I don't
was
have
it?
time to
I gotta
give
ask
it
Nick
back.
this question. So, Nick, have you ever had your wife ask you how they look in something?
Yes, always
Okay.
looks good.
Have you? Yes.
Yes,
Have you
always looks
ever
good.
Said, no, you just say, "Oh, honey."
But then you
looking
don't
good."
know. And then you walk out there looking like trash. So I would
Right.
much rather have
No.
my husband say, you look
Yes.
like trash ahead of time.
Style.
Well, let's be honest. Is anybody going to walk up to Corinne and be like, "Oh, wow, you look like trash"?
They would judge.
Yeah, maybe they're
Same
thinking
thing. I bought a cute skirt thing for Easter. Same thing. Luke was like, return that. I was like, all right.
No.
So he's a good person to get some
because
feedback.
you liked it.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did.
That's all that matters.
But did you like it on?
Okay.
See, there's
Wait.
a difference between liking it like through a
No,
picture.
she liked it on.
She said she didn't like it on.
It was questionable. So
Okay. See,
I would want the truth.
I gotta get honest feedback.
Yeah,
Yep.
because here's the thing Sarah asked me about. She's like, "Well, would you tell me honestly?" And I'm like, "No." Here's the thing, because it doesn't matter. I don't want anybody telling me it looks like crap. Because if I got up and put it on,
Then you want to take it off?
no, the point is that I liked it, so I put it on. I don't really care what you think. It's the uniqueness piece. Like that's what you love about people.
Yeah.
It's like they can wear whatever they want. You might think it looks like trash, but I liked it, so I'm wearing it. So it's like the ownership in like, this is my style, right? So it doesn't matter what your style is,
Right.
right, to other people. So own it.
I can sometimes.
Huh?
Yeah,
can
I think she
sometimes.
does really well about that.
Thank you.
Having a different style.
Yeah,
Like, I
I mean,
don't
Jenny's
necessarily
for sure
think-
owning it. She's not asking anybody if she looks like trash.
No.
No, because she always looks adorable.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
But we also went through this thing before. Is like girls sit there and change like 5, 6, 7 things and just throw it on the ground beside the.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Oh, I thought you said you did.
No, I
like
do
you
not.
put something on and then take it
No,
off
I
and put something
pick
on.
one outfit and I'm done. I do
Okay.
not change during
How
the
long
day.
did it take to pick
How long
out
does
one
it-
outfit?
Well,
Do you pick it out the night before?
heck no.
Okay.
I do everything last minute. Everything last minute. Literally. Like
Okay.
20 minutes to leave and should have been doing something that I should have been doing an hour ago.
Okay.
Yeah. But what does the red shirt look like? That's what I want to know.
It like I
Try to
thought it
describe
has
it.
like a little bit of a
A mock neck?
yeah, and
Okay.
then it was a little poofier on the shoulders, and then it was supposed to be just straight down, but it was like staticky, and
Oh.
it just I don't know. So I might still wear it. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, just put it in the dryer with
We'll see.
some, or put hairspray on it.
I guess you'll have to come and see.
Yep.
Come to EV and see what I'm wearing.
Yep.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, so why we're talking about EV, so why don't you get it out? This could be a public service announcement.
Yes, PSA.
When
Okay.
it comes to all of these people that are saying, well, we're going to be snowed in and we can't get there.
Oh.
Give the public service announcement.
Oh gosh,
EV is on.
it is on
Unless-
like Donkey Kong.
Unless, yes, on like Donkey Kong, unless
We are on a red travel
red.
advisory.
yeah, and Nick and I are still trying to decide like
Yeah.
if there's any way that we can do something even if people can't come.
Yeah.
Right.
But the public service announcement that you can put out there is don't worry about the snow. Come,
Yeah.
it's going to be on. If you can get here,
Get here.
you know, you need to make sure that
So
you
just
can-
red, not orange or anything else, just
No,
red.
it's always been the church's rule to say Sunday morning will be on unless you're going to be arrested driving here.
That's very nice of you.
So red is the only thing you can be arrested for.
Which is so crazy. I didn't know that till earlier today.
Yes. Well, that's true, isn't it? Maybe I'm saying it's not. That's true.
I just have never
I
heard
think
that.
so. I think red is like only emergency vehicles.
I think you get a ticket. I don't think it's that deep that they
Okay.
would send you to jail.
Yeah, so maybe I'm over exaggerating, but
but
the
something
idea-
bad happens
Yes,
if
that
it's
is
red
very
and you drive.
scary.
yeah, they don't want to be out there picking you out of the ditch since
Right.
you're the bad driver.
Right. I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, you're the
I am
one
a
last
very
year that
good
had
driver.
snow on the back of your thing and you backed into somebody.
That was 2 years ago. Thank you very much.
But it's the same concept.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the concept of you're a bad driver.
No, there's just that moment.
Huh?
I was jamming to Kim Walker Smith, okay?
No, I know. And you backed into somebody.
Yes, but they never
And then
parked
you
there.
left
It was
the
a
scene of
white
the
car.
accident. You
It
left
was
the
a
scene of
white
the
car.
accident.
Yes, I did, but I went back. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
So Friday, the 23rd,
Is
Eve
Eve.
service. It'll be
Yeah.
great.
So you're
5:30
learning
and
something
6,
else
7:30.
about Corinne's
oh,
personality.
she takes it right back to it every
no,
time.
I mean, she cannot stand getting off the subject.
Oh, I know.
I'm just there's a time. We got to go. I'm a counselor. I got to bring it back in.
That's what I'm saying. That it's a personality thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what she loves. Here's my other question. So we know that you're not a Grinch. So you should post pictures now of her transition throughout the week. Here's the new outfit. Jenny, how about you?
Do you have a selfie from yesterday?
No, I don't.
So make sure you get her today, and we'll see the transformation up until
up until Eve.
Up until Eve.
Friday.
Behind the scenes. Look at the transformation.
And then I'll transform into a beautiful Christmas.
The red dress.
With a mock something that's poofy and staticky.
Right.
Boom. But you're owning your style.
I'm going to try. We'll see.
Staticky is annoying to wear.
It just like clings.
Yes. There's nothing worse than a static shirt. And then your hair becomes staticky. And then your mic that you're holding is probably going to be staticky.
Can't you just throw it in the dryer and put the little thing in there that makes them not staticky?
You have to have the little things. I don't have the little things.
Yeah.
We don't believe in dryer sheets. We don't believe in dryer sheets. I'm kidding. That's a joke. We do.
Okay, so here's my other question. So you've been worship leader at Life, creative, whatever you are.
Arts.
Right? So you're a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right? You're part of and or the leader of the creative team. You do worship. You the jack of all trades.
I don't know about that.
All of that stuff.
I don't know about that.
Anyway, how long now?
Over a year.
Yeah, so let's talk about the evolution. How has it evolved for you? Because in the beginning, there was this like, feel called, right? So I feel called to do this, and you were taking over for somebody. So there is a sense of like, maybe I should do what they were doing or maybe do it the way. But I think the evolution of turning the ministry into kind of what God has for you, because it's nothing, I say this a lot, is this nothing about what the person in the past did is right or wrong. Like it has nothing to do with that. It's more about, I don't know, what's God saying to you? And let's see, how he evolves that. So I think there's this natural tendency for people when they take over is to keep tradition, right? So keep the way that things were done. And again, I don't know this, but I'm assuming this, to watch your evolution, because I think you have evolved from, I'm going to take the systems that were in place to feel like, you've moved the ministry into your own. Yeah. And I think it's really went in an incredible direction. And so can you tell me how that's been for you personally? How has the evolution process worked? And maybe talk about some of the challenges, because I think, what we can learn from you, and I think anybody that's listening, is that this is kind of a course on leadership, right? That you have, we can all learn from you on how to evolve as a leader and how to be flexible as a leader and how to transition as a leader, because you're taking over an existing team and you can talk through that, and we can learn from you when it comes to, those leadership things that you have done. Why are you laughing?
I don't think of myself as a leader all the time. I think it's hard to, I am, yes. And I think there's still a lot that I'm learning and growing in, which is part of leadership, I think, is always growing.
Yeah. But don't you think you've always been an influencer in life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have seen you even before that, I think you have a personality of an influencer.
Yes.
I think a lot of people that, are involved here have the personality of an influencer, which is leadership, right? And then the evolution of that, is how many people are you influencing and how many people are going to follow you, right? Because I think everybody has influence, like you said, so we could look around and say everybody has influence, but the evolution of leadership is then how big does the influence get, and then how many people will you follow, and then the end part of it is, or the ultimate goal we're trying to get to, is how many people can we reproduce to do the same thing, grow influence, grow a fellowship, turn around and have them do it, like that again. So can you talk about that evolution and your leadership and kind of how that's went, and honestly, maybe some of the struggles? Like I think it's good as a leader to talk through some of the struggles and some of the victories that you've had.
Yeah, I can do my best.
You can do it.
I think from the start, it was it's really intimidating. Yeah. Coming into a ministry that's already it has a foundation. It has been built and created. And someone who's been there for, 10 years, pouring into this ministry. And I was a part of that for 8 years. So it's not like I was new to it. So I knew, how it worked, but, very intimidating stepping in. But I think one of the first things that I've learned is, leaning heavily on team and on the team members that I have. Cause, I just have an outstanding, incredible team. I cannot speak more highly of them. They're just, amazing people. From the get-go, just pouring into me and being supportive. And I think that has allowed me to find confidence in myself and to trust what God is doing through others and through me. So if I'm being honest, I feel like a lot of my leadership has been like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but these people are doing something. So I'm going to yeah, sure. Let's try that. Or let's, try that out for a little bit. And people are like, oh my gosh, okay, I've got the green light now. And so they can kind of just go do it.
So can I stop you for just a second?
I know. I was going to say that's super important to be like that, though.
Well, so I think two things. So I want to also, since we're doing Life Church staff, so Jenny, I want to ask you some questions.
Yeah, Jenny.
Because I want people to see the difference.
Okay.
So you took over something, because both of them have challenges, right? So you took over something that already exists, had 10 years of build up, to that. And so there is a huge wow, I want to be me, but it's already been established, and how does it work? And there's some intimidation. And so you work through that. Jenny comes in, and essentially Nick was doing social media, but we really hadn't. Is that fair to say, Nick? We weren't doing it to the level that we're doing it today. Yeah. Right. You were just kind of doing everything.
Right. Yeah.
And so
everything.
Kind of like you still are, right?
It's different everything.
But you know what I mean, right? It wasn't like we didn't do social media, but we had never really.
It was never where we visioned. I couldn't take it to where we wanted it to be.
Right. So essentially what Jenny took over was something new.
Yeah.
Right. Without a team, without, so Jenny, talk through the challenges in leadership when it comes into stepping into something that hadn't existed, doesn't have a team of people that can pour into them, because both of those are lessons in leadership, right? And because Corinne's I could lean on, but there's also the challenge of how do I still become new, right? You're no, but I can do whatever I want because nobody really did anything before, right? So can you talk through maybe some of the challenges for you as a leader stepping into something that was new and developed from nothing not without any team, but without essentially what Corinne stepped into, which was
where they've been
10 years
for a while.
worth of people. Yeah. Because I think they both have huge challenges, that come with that, because 10 years of people doing it a certain way, there's challenges anytime you want to be can we move a little in a different way, and for you, stepping into something where there is no parameters, where there is no anything in there. So can you talk about maybe for you as a leader, what that's looked like?
Yeah. It was super challenging at first because I had this whole feeling come over me, not necessarily at first, but then I finally realized that, oh my gosh, I am the one representing the church. I'm they put me in charge to represent the church as a whole. So it became very scary at first, but not only the leadership between the people that I didn't have, but it was leadership from the people that were on the social media, looking, watching what was being said and the things being posted. So it was challenging for me because it was, I don't know, it became at one point a self thing. I was doing the work because I was getting the likes and the reactions and stuff like that. And so when something wouldn't do well, I took it personally in the very beginning. And I think that was the rough part about it, was not understanding the whole concept of what it truly is now as to what I thought it was then.
Because again, remembering that when you work together as a team, so our goal at Life Church has always been the same, is any ministry we have, you have a team.
Yeah.
And that's for multiple reasons. But one of the biggest reasons is because when you're fighting against the enemy, when you're going against that, you're going to get backlash, and so that backlash that can come from outside, You know, it can come from the accuser, Satan, internally inside of your head, that when you have a team of people, it doesn't get so personal because we as a team decided this is where we're going to go. And we as a team are going to support each other inside of the backlash, right? So that's one of the major reasons we say you got to create a team. So what you're saying, a challenge when you were by yourself is you would take ownership for good and bad, which can be ugly in both ways, right? And so
a lot of pressure,
It was. I mean, and because it was something new, it was like I was just thrown in. Really, like I didn't have any social media experience. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I don't know, it just all was like a lot in that moment. So I don't think anybody really knew what I was doing at first.
Well, no.
Nobody knew.
Well, but this is how, I mean, you want to ask, so here would be a great thing. Talk to Nick.
Oh, I know.
You know, so anybody
talk
that has
about it
followed Nick's journey. So Nick in all of his life here. So if people don't know this, you know, if you go back and listen to Nick's podcast a long time ago. So
get groups and stories.
Yeah, so when Nick came to Life Church, essentially, it was, we need to hire Nick because he's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's a man of God that's passionate about trying to figure things out. So I am, this is what's always happened at Life. I'm like, well, I don't know. There's got to be something to do around here. You know, whether the person has any experience or not, all I'm trying to do is to be around that person. Because we can start with something and nobody cares. Like, because nobody cares if you're doing it 2 years from now, at least for me. Like, I don't really care what anybody's doing 2 years from now. I just want to get to know you. I want to know your heart and the things. And so Nick has been, so another example of leadership, you know, so when you look at Nick, one of the great things is that Nick was open to listen, whatever it is that God wants me to be, I'm willing to be flexible in those things. And so he starts as a small group leader, which is still the funniest
It's just so funny. We just laugh.
No, it's still the funniest story ever. But I mean, maybe Nick, you can talk about
But he said yes.
Huh?
He said yes.
I mean, can you talk about even for you, Nick, like what were some of those challenges? Because you came into, we know that, you know, you're a guy that's passionate about, and you went from a small group leader to seriously leading a pretty complex, you know, digital media thing that we do here at Life Church. So Nick, maybe talk about your journey because, you know, you can share a lot about too, stepping into something that, and let's be honest, partially existed, but
nothing like it is now.
No. Yeah. Because I watched this something online the other day, and I'm not going to say what church it was, but I was snooping around about things. And I'm like, I love Nick because I watched it and I'm like, dude, I had forgot that one of the things I said to Nick when we were doing this, like, please don't let us be online if we sound like that, you know, and we have advanced,
Yeah, we have,
you know, and again, Nick, share this a little bit, not from anybody's expertise here. Like nobody, you didn't take it over. Like you've taken it and said, I'm going to go out, because I think this is a lesson in leadership. I'm going to go out and learn.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on my own and try to figure out and develop into that. So Nick, can you talk a little bit about that, like how that was for you, and maybe what were some of your challenges as you start as a small group leader and however long you've been here, which nobody knows except you.
I think it's like 5 years.
Yeah, so can you talk about that evolution and what some of the challenges in leadership were?
Well, yeah, we laugh about the small group thing, but let's be honest, I was pretty bad at it.
That's not.
Which I think is great because it taught me that as long as, you know, one of the things we say at Life Church is as long as you're doing something, like you're doing okay. And so if it doesn't work, we'll find something else. And I think that's what gave me the creativity, the freedom to, you know, figure out this spot. You know, it's like, because again, you know, we were doing very little when it came to production. We weren't doing online. We didn't even have a camera when I first started. That was one of our biggest purchases. And
wow.
So, you know, from, you know, one camera to, you know, EV, we're looking at 7.
Yeah.
You know, we've grown quite a bit just because we've had that freedom of, we're going to try something. You know, if it doesn't work, then that's okay. We've tried something.
But you had that, and I think this is for all of you. I mean, one of the things that I sit back and, you know, it's going to sound weird, but it's like the proud dad moments.
Oh, Papa Hill.
think it's cute.
Doesn't that sound weird though?
No.
Like the proud dad moments is that, and it almost makes me cry because when I sit back and watch you guys, I mean, it's like, that you have the courage to step into things. You know what I mean? That you're going to be like, you know what, whatever it is that God wants me to do, and to watch Nick do it and to watch Jenny, you know, go through, you know, where she was to where she is today, and Corinne going through this tension of like, man, I have a job and went to school and I did these things, but I'm going to take these steps out. And then just to see how you flourished, you know, all of you guys, like you're flourishing in your leadership because you allowed God to lead you, you know. And I think that, you know, these are lessons for all leaders to learn is that allow your heart to be open to what God wants to do, because if we're going to be great leaders, you have to be led by him, you know, and I think that's where it starts. And I think having an open heart, you know, to be able to see those things. And again, all of you are examples of, if we allow ourselves to be open to what God wants, look how exponentially things grow.
Yeah.
You know, because you know how in leaders, sometimes we put ourselves in a box, like we got to do it this way, and we've got to, you know, make it work this way. And all of you are like, let's start dreaming, you know? And because of those things, you're seeing representations of lives that are being transformed, you know. And Nick, I think I read it in the annual report of how many people are being reached. I'm going to say it wrong, so just say it. How many countries, or not countries, how many states?
No, there's some countries.
Yeah, there's countries.
I know I said it wrong, but when I read it, I'm like, just think about this. If Nick would have been, oh, well, I'm just going to keep trying to do small groups, or I'm just going to try to push through because I'm afraid to tell anybody I hate my job. I'm like all the time, please tell me you hate your job. We'll find another one because I love you, right? Like I don't, jobs are jobs to me. Like we can figure out anything to do as long as your heart is in the right place. And because, you know, you chose to take a step out, because you chose to say this isn't working, because Nick chose to say, and you had the courage then to be like, okay, so whatever it is, you know, whatever those things are going to be. So Nick, how many people was it that you guys have reached through the Life Online?
Oh, where did I put it?
I'm sorry.
It was over 5,000 people we reached just this year. 39 states, 6 countries.
Wow.
All around the world.
Yeah, so if you think
amazing.
about that, because Nick had enough courage to say, I hate my job.
Good job, buddy.
No, I mean, he didn't say, I hate my job.
Right.
I'm exaggerating. But you could see inside of Nick, he's not flourishing. Something's dying on the inside. You know, even though I want to be in ministry, this isn't the right place. And then just to have the courage to be like, because it is hard. You know, it is hard to get to the place where you're saying this isn't working.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to explore different places. And again, what I think you're now seeing is because you have the courage, the reason your teams are good and people around you is because they watched how you did it. And you're then allowing that for them. Who are you? You know, what is God doing, you know, in your life? So if you're going to give advice to people that are out there trying to figure this out, because honestly, I think there are way more people that are trying to figure this out and don't know what to do. Like, if you were going to give them advice, what would you give them, Jenny?
Well, I mean, you just saying this just now, like, to me, I didn't look at it like you did. Like, I never really considered it such a step of faith or really trusting God. I was just doing. Like, I didn't think it was that big, like that deep, that somebody else would see it like that. I just saw it as.
So you think when people look at your life right now, because I hear this from people, like people that talk about the podcast, they don't talk about me, they talk about Jenny, you know, and I think you need to realize that. Like,
didn't you used to have like Superstar Jenny back last year?
Yeah.
It was like your nickname or something?
Superstar Jenny.
But more than just your personality. Like, if you talk to people, it's Jenny's journey, you know, and the faith steps that she's talking. If you talk to people who talk about Corinne today, it's wow, look at the journey. Like people are watching and they're seeing. And anybody that knows Nick's story, like I just met with Don Patmore the other day for breakfast. And he's like,
what a dude.
I know.
Nick, although he could come to small group more, he's the man. He's the man. Right? I mean, he has watched Nick's journey, you know, and he's seen who Nick is. Like people are watching your evolution, not only as a person of faith, but as your leadership. And that when people are stepping back and looking at it, like that's what people are seeing,
right?
You know, when they see you, Jenny, when they're saying like, wow, to see where she was and to have the courage to just, you know, I'm leaving the cafe. I'm in transition.
Well, I mean, even though I was leaving.
No, I know, but you did get to the place, okay, it wasn't working.
Yes.
Now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like you could have easily done something else to just step into something that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like that to me
that was a big thing.
Is a big step to say, I'm going to walk into something. Like for me as a leader, it's my dream to walk into something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, you like challenge and change though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's a personality thing. But that's not very many people.
Right.
No.
It takes a lot bigger challenge for people to walk into something that doesn't exist. So I think people are seeing that. So what advice would you give them since I interrupted you?
I know.
It's okay. You don't have to.
I don't
Nick
really know.
Or Corinne, like what advice is people who are transitioning or people who are feeling this angst of like, I don't know if where I need to be. Like,
I think if you feel something like, or if like when that happened with me, when I was like in between jobs, when I had already put my 2 weeks into you, and then you had brought this up, like, I knew that this could only be from God because it was just too crazy, but I didn't want to do it, but I knew that it was from God. So then I chose to do it. So I feel like if something is pulling on your heart or, you know, we know it's the Holy Spirit, but.
Have you ever wanted to quit?
Yes.
Yeah. So talk about that. Because I think for everybody in this room, if you're doing the right thing, at some point you thought about quitting. So talk about how you worked through it. Because you answered the call, right? This is kind of the next stage because this is important for people to learn. So I was in it. I felt it. It was thinking about it.
It was great.
Yeah,
thinking about it all the time.
Yes.
Then it's going along, and then it's like, I think I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is right, and I don't know if this should do this. And maybe I made a bad decision. Were you ever there?
Oh yeah, I've been there a lot. I don't know. I get time. I don't really have a good explanation.
Did anybody help you walk that journey? What did you share with people? I'm just trying to help people learn.
Right.
Like what do you do? And I think every person is different on what you do.
So I mean, I'm more of a person where I will hold things in, and if something's bothering me, I usually don't tell people, especially if it's something that I think I can handle myself, or if I think it's probably dumb what I feel, and I'm embarrassed to tell somebody because I'm being dramatic, and so I myself let go of that, and I actually talk to people who are around me. So,
hey, I'm struggling.
Yes,
like with my job, like I just don't have the joy.
Yeah, and then I found out they felt the same way, and it's like you open up to people, and it's amazing.
Yeah, so
what
good.
happens.
So the advice: take the step, but know it's coming. Because I would guess this is for everybody. If you've taken that step of faith and you've walked out on that journey, there's either a point or multiple points. It's like, I'm done. There's got to be something easier. I was super excited. How does this out really go?
Yeah.
So talk to people. It's okay. And I would say to all bosses, you better be able to create an environment that somebody can come and say, my job sucks.
Yeah.
I don't feel it anymore. I don't have it. Because that's okay. And I don't even know why they wouldn't, but I do hear people saying sometimes they don't feel like they work in an environment where they could come and say, I'm just not feeling it. Right? I'm just not into it. I don't have the passion that I once had. You know, I think that's healthy to be able to share those things.
Yeah, that's not normal out in the world.
Not normal?
No. I would think if you would say that to a boss, be like, okay, you're fired. Definitely.
Or figure it out.
Yeah, something. You're on your own.
Yeah.
Because a lot of employers don't necessarily care about the people. It's just getting business numbers.
Yeah. Corinne, have you ever thought about...
Not necessarily quitting, more just like, I don't know. I feel like I've gone through I'm kind of still in, I guess, like a season of it's been really hard to like have my personal faith in the midst of this. So like, even so I was sitting back in the back with Rayanne on Sunday, and we've been doing this meeting with our team of like, okay, let's recap the sermon so we can, make sure that we're getting out of it and like listening. And I was sitting back there, and she had leaned over and said something about the sermon, and I had realized I was focusing on the lights, and the white balance of the cameras was off, and that light was green instead of blue, and there were some distractions going on, and I'm always just analyzing everything that it's so hard for me to focus on, like, hang on, like even as I'm planning songs for the week or different things. Like I think my struggle is like, I want to be so intentional and spend time with the Lord that I almost put too much pressure on myself. And then I forget to spend time with the Lord and just put pressure on, I have to do good. I have to do this thing. And so that's been a balance I've been trying to find of, my personal time with Jesus filters into,
and so it feels dry, you're saying. Not necessarily quit, but it just feels like it's going through the motions.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I think the Lord has just been so gracious in that of like I was just talking with Luke. I feel like it makes more sense to me to receive like a really crappy Sunday. Like, okay, you didn't put time into this. Like, all right, I'm going to, make sure that these songs are terrible. And like, kind of, I want that fall, but the Lord has just been like, nope, I'm going to keep sustaining this and keep like every time I have a Sunday where I'm like, man, that was just awful. Someone, 2 or 3 people will be like, wow, that like really moved me. And I'm just like, dang it, what the heck? Like, Lord, all right. Like, so he's just been very faithful in that. And I think I've been more anticipating like the failure side of it. And he's just been like, nope, like I'm not going to let you fail. Like I'm here to support you in that. And so that's been, I think, really challenging for me to see. Cause I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm putting in the time or the space that I want to, and he's still blessing it. So then it's like, okay, well, I don't know. It's just like a weird
Is
spot.
that like a guilt feeling kind of?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I understand
it's
that.
the accuser.
Right. Oh,
the enemy.
Yes. Yeah.
Trying to get her like, you're not enough. You
Right.
didn't do
Yep.
enough. You're not at the right place. Your heart's not right. You didn't spend enough time. You didn't do. And, because that's, when you first get into being up front, there's something about being up front where, you walk away, because everybody asks me the same thing. How did it go? I'm like, I don't know. How do you know? I
hate
know.
that question.
I don't know how it went. Honestly, all I know is that this has been the majority of 18 years of being in ministry and being at the front is that most of the time people will be like, it spoke to me. And that could just be one person or somebody coming and saying like, this is what you said. And I'm like, nope, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what we're trusting is if we are faithful, and I think the thing that we need to remember, not just in our personal devotional time, but faithful in our life, because it's a journey. Like sometimes personal devotion, let's just be honest. Sometimes your personal devotional life is good and sometimes it sucks.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
like
I'm sucking right
sometimes
now.
we're very intentional and sometimes we're not. What'd you say, Danny?
I said I'm sucking right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But we've got
had a
the,
really good
the
streak.
Bible app.
We
that
do.
we're,
We do.
If you haven't joined.
Yeah. But the point just is that to me, this is what's overstated in the church way too much. And what we should be like propping up, we don't enough, which is it's a lifestyle of fellowship, not moments.
Yeah.
We celebrate moments of fellowship more than
do.
we do lifestyles, like, or just life in general, because what you've shown is a lifestyle of a follower of Jesus. You might miss your personal devotional time and you might miss, but you're living a life of faith, right? And I think that is what's celebrated because that's what God sees is the heart of those who follow.
The heart.
And if we miss our devotions or we go through seasons of like, I'm just not as intentional as I need to be, but you're still walking in faith, because we have to remember walking in faith is just not doing, and I know that's not what you said, but it's not just whether you did or read or prayed enough or, it's not that. It's, am I living a life of being a follower? And if we are, what proves is the Holy Spirit will do what only he can do.
Yeah.
Right? Which is even through our own failures. Can't read, pronounce names wrong.
Rhonda.
Rhonda.
Get
Good old
lost
Rhonda.
in the message. When you're up there preaching, like sometimes it's you go too long, you go too short. You make a point, you don't make a point. You said something in the first service, listen, I'm trusting that if I continue to live by faith, the Holy Spirit will do what only he can do.
Right.
In those moments of dryness, or maybe you're not feeling it the way that you had in the past. So how did you then, or how are you journeying through that? And what advice would you give to people who get in those seasons?
Yeah. I mean, I think just like Jenny said, is just like being honest with people. And just, being able to, invite God into the midst of that, of like, hey, I feel like I'm falling short right now. I know I just want to, be present and invite you into these moments of when I feel like I'm a failure, or when I'm feeling really excited about things, when I remember I want to invite you in. Also just like, trying to, talk with people and like, get people on your team. So like we started the sermon series recap team to kind of push us into that. And, in part, honestly, part of why I wanted to do the Advent, like 25-day thing was for myself, to hold myself accountable of like, you've been doing kind of crappy, Corinne. So like, here's something that we can, push yourself into. And, just try and find ways to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, good. Nick, any thoughts on like, have you ever had seasons where you're like, ugh, like, I don't know if this is the right place to be?
I don't know. I really like my job. There's been seasons of like just real tired and real run down. It's like, it'd be nice to take a break for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
no feeling like I'm not in the right place, or not feeling.
No.
While we still have you on the mic, though, this is my next question for all of you.
Ooh.
What's the greatest challenge of working in ministry, the behind the scenes stuff? Like, what's the greatest challenge of, because I've heard people say this before, is that, super like on fire, passionate for Jesus. And then I went to work for the church.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, certain things have become challenging. And not that, and again, I'm not saying it as a bad thing, 'cause you have to work through it. But has there been any challenges of working in ministry, Nick, that you could share, or any one of you guys could share, that is like, and this is how we overcame some of those challenges?
I think mine goes a lot along with what Corinne was talking about. Like, it's hard to focus on your relationship with God on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's for me, that's easily, the hardest part, to be able to go into a Sunday morning, even when I don't have myself scheduled somewhere, and just sit and just reflect in, being with people and, listening to the music, listening to the message.
It's hard not to evaluate.
It's hard not, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah. Ways that our listeners could be praying for you. And again, and I say this.
That's a good question.
Well, no, listen, I'm saying it because we put it out there. So if you don't have the annual report, so one of the cool things this year is the annual report went out on our app, right? And so again, back to part of Nick and the creative team's vision is we're trying to own space on the phones, get people to be able to go through there. And so when you read the annual report, part of it is like, we want to celebrate some things God did, but we also want to be able to talk to you about what we are dreaming for, So when I say pray for, I mean encourage you in, as you're going down that road. Well, one of the things we encourage you, if you don't have the app, get the app, because the future of Life Church is happening through the app.
All on
and
the app.
Being able to get that. That's just the way we're going.
Yeah.
And whether people like it or don't like it, it doesn't matter. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, everything's on there. You can find out our events, like the cafe, champs.
But let's be serious. One of the reasons we're doing it is because, and you guys have been very good at this, is we are going to try to figure out how to reach a younger generation.
Yeah.
So part of it, it's ignorant to think that people are reading emails as a 25-year-old, 26-year-old, or some of the avenues that we've had that people loved, the older people, right? Like we want paper and we want this. That's okay. You're good. We're going to a missing generation. And I think you guys, as a creative team, has done a great job of saying, and we're going to push the envelope. You know, and people, there are going to be some old people, they're going to be mad, and that's just okay. You know, because sometimes you have to give up what's good to do what's great.
Yeah.
And you guys have done a good job of going from what was good. I mean, we're doing good to moving it to what's great. And so let's talk a little bit about, so that's on the app. So let's make sure that if you don't have the app, you need to get it. You need to get the annual report.
Yeah.
But Nick, how can our listeners be praying for and or encouraging you? Because again, we've talked about it in the beginning of this, is that part of what you guys are doing is really significantly changing the lives of people. And so any ways that our listeners can be praying for or coming alongside and supporting you in any way?
Oh, man.
I know. It's really intense.
I'll go first.
Thanks. That's very kind of you.
You know, I think challenge, I mean, yeah, pray that this year I can be bold in talking to people. Like especially, you know, new people, something that we've always been encouraged as staff to do. And I've just been, you know, hard-headed and I don't do it. Shocker, right?
Rand joined the party.
But, you know, I think we're at a place now where, you know, tech-wise, we have everything we need, but now we just need the people. And so I need to be able to, you know, have the boldness to go out and start leading people instead of start leading like tech and things. So that's probably on my bucket list for 2023.
Yeah. So if you're out there listening, I mean, I want you to hear this because I think sometimes we miss this when Nick says like, we need to have more people help in the tech area. Like, I think the thing that people need to recognize is that the influence that's happening through the technology that God has gifted us with and Nick has helped put together, the influence that's going out people is just significant. And so running a computer or running a camera, it's not just filling a spot. Right. It is giving people an opportunity to know and love Jesus like never before. Right. And so if you're out there listening, you know, number one is that you're going to have a great leader. So you need to come and you need to see Nick because regardless of what Nick says, whether he is or isn't good at certain things, one other thing we know about Nick is he loves the Lord and that he loves the concept that God has given him, which is to be able to get it out in ways that aren't getting out just if we did it on a Sunday morning without getting out there. So you need to get to know him and be with him and allow him to do that. So if you're out there, get with Nick and he can get you signed up and be a part of, not just a part of a team that volunteers, but a team that transforms the world. Yeah. Jenny, are you next since we're going in a circle?
Let's just do it.
Okay.
Are we doing prayers what was the first question?
How can we be praying for you, our listeners, and or encouraging you in what you're doing? Like, what do you see as, what are you dreaming? What do you see as some of the obstacles? And how can our listeners come alongside of you and be able to, you know, encourage you in what you're doing? Yeah.
I would say for encouragement for myself and or like our social media would be to get on and start being more involved. Okay. You know, like it's so easy to be on your phone scrolling through, see things and you like it mentally, but you don't like physically like it. Like because I've had so many people tell me, I really liked that post, but I'm like, oh, but you never liked it. So if more people would just express what they're thinking and share it out there, then they could too be speaking to other people and sharing the word. And
can you explain the significance of that to the person who knows zero? So when you do interact with a post, it's not Jenny.
I just want so many likes. That's not it. Like that's not it.
That's what I mean. So let's talk about like there is a strategy behind that. And the strategy isn't so Jenny can say, well, I had a post that had so many likes. Right. Absolutely. So let's talk about the strategy and how people can get on board. So if you're a listener out there and you're, you know, a part of, you know, our podcast, you know, team of people that are listening to this, how can they strategically help us get that broader influence?
Yeah. So all you have to do is either like or share or comment.
You just have to like it.
Yeah, even just one simple like, because more times that other people, the engagement is what it's called. So comments, likes, sharing. Every time that somebody does something, it creates in the algorithm of it, all the numbers that people want to see it because people are liking it. So the more that we have engaged in it, the higher possibility it's going to be seen to anybody.
Okay, so I'm going to speak as the ignorant person that I am. So if you're on Facebook, it's like. And if it's on Instagram, is it like?
I just call them all likes.
Again, I really have zero idea how you're supposed to do this. So if you hit the like on Facebook and or comment.
Right.
So can you comment on Instagram?
Oh, yeah.
That's the same thing.
Comment, share, yeah.
And like. You like it there.
Yeah.
What do you do with TikTok? Because here's the funny thing. So I was like trying to explain to people before it actually said it on Sunday that we were going to make a TikTok for young people. Were you nervous
about it?
Huh?
Were you nervous about explaining it?
Well, I was like, I actually don't know what I'm saying. I'm like, I know she's going to make a TikTok thing so that young people can.
Yeah, you did well.
And then I was like, share? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what do you do?
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
so
you can share it.
On TikTok, you would share it.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can share, you can repost it to your page, but you can share not only to TikTok, but the TikTok can be shared then as text, an email. Like you can send a link, you can do it to Instagram, Facebook, like you can send it anywhere.
Yeah, so let's say it from this standpoint. Because I've always been let's not even go there.
Yeah,
so forget how I am with social media.
Time.
Yeah, so the point would be is if you want to help us evangelize the world, one of the ways you can help evangelize the world is by engaging in the posts that will help evangelize the world. So that's how people can come alongside of you.
Yeah, I mean, really, you talk about evangelism, and I think that a lot of people have a hard time with that concept because they don't see how they can do it.
Well, then you don't have an excuse anymore.
Right,
so
exactly.
if you're out there listening and you're like, I don't want to go out and evangelize somebody.
Right.
So digital media, social media has given you the opportunity to help get that done.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus had to come to terms, or not come to terms, but he did this.
With Facebook? Jesus.
No, like he did what was around him. Like he settled in, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and now that's
come
what we're
to terms
doing.
with it.
Yes. So that's what we're doing with like social media. It's big.
We're utilizing our resources available.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
She said what I was thinking.
Okay, Corinne, because we're getting close.
Yes. No, we are close.
Yeah, so Corinne, give us, how can people be encouraging and or praying for you?
Shut up, Brian.
Ready? Okay.
I just think this next year is going to be, I don't know, I'm feeling excited about what's coming. I think we have, again, there's a lot of leaders on our team who I think are stepping into more opportunity. I think the Life Students Band is incredible and they're continuing to work their way up.
Yeah.
I really want to try to, create more of an atmosphere of worship for, like more of like an acoustic set worship night where like, here, come and play some instruments. Like, maybe you're not on the worship team, but like music and, it's a way that we can connect. And so just giving more opportunity for people to come and worship and get plugged in and do those kinds of things. But I think prayers for me would just be, and for the team is just keep trusting what God is doing, and leaning into the dreams that we have, because I think I get intimidated by a lot of them sometimes of like, oh, I don't think I can do that. Like we want to make music of our own. And that's something I don't feel like I can do. So that's really intimidating for me, but I've got an awesome team. So just a lot of, I want to take steps, but I'm scared, but our team is, again, back to the team is awesome. So I would say just keep encouraging, our worship team and doing the things the Lord has for us.
And so if somebody wants to get involved in worship, how do they do it?
Yeah. Email me, Corinne@lifehuntington.com.
Okay.
Yeah,
so they can come and that's how they would go through.
Yeah. There's an audition process.
Yeah.
And,
right. But
again,
like just the start of it would be.
Right.
Yeah. And I'll just have to say, and maybe we've done this because my memory's about like my sense of smell right now. But the idea of like generational worship, like I'd never even thought about that before. And I don't know that we've ever done that. But when I sat there, I'm like, that's it right there. It's not just a kid's show. You know what I mean? Because you get around like when we do, it's Christmas time and it's the Christmas pageant. It used to drive me crazy. Is it just
Christmas
like,
plays?
is it just
I
going
love
to
Christmas
be,
plays.
That's not my point.
Good.
But the point is that seeing it come together. See, I think the thing that we as a church can continue to do well is help people see what they can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can talk about the idea of building into a generation, but generationally to see how it works, and putting it together is a visual.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are visual learners, right? And I think it's hard when we say certain things if you don't see it. So
Yeah.
I was just sitting there thinking that right there is exactly what we're about. Generational worship, generational discipleship, generational, and when you can put it in a visual like that, it just made me sit back and think, that you're showing the beauty of what you could do, to be able to do it. So I don't know how you guys figured that out, but I thought it was awesome.
Well, it's happening on Sunday mornings too with the camera crew. Like I look back and see how young they are and they're the ones doing the stuff that's for online that is reaching people. And that's amazing too.
Right.
So,
yeah. So I want to just end with this because one of the things that I think it's some working at Life Church, I think is a huge challenge. And I've always said that, I've always said it's very challenging to come and work here because it is countercultural. Most people come in and say, give me the list of things that I need to do and I'll just do them well. Tell me when I'm doing them wrong and I'll do the list well. At Life, we've been about, I've always dreamed about a church clear back to when I felt like God said, because I didn't want to plant a church because I thought churches were stagnant. I thought churches were ineffective, like it just would drive me crazy, And so I felt like God said, I want you to plant a church that can be a vehicle to change the world. And I just, in my sphere, I've never seen it. I'd never witnessed it. And at times, I wondered if it could be true. But there's parts of me today that look at what's happening at Life Church and say there can be hope, not because we're doing the organizational things well. It's because we have a team of people that are saying, God, I'll do whatever you tell me.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to listen more to you than I would be to just try to figure out how to get it work done. And that's why it's hard to work at Life because we're saying, I don't know, blow the box up. I don't like boxes anyway. So whatever it is that God says, let's try to blow the box up because I think the people that we're trying to reach aren't in the box anyway.
Right.
And I think the churches have spent too much time making better boxes and asking people to fit in them instead of just blowing up the box and let's just let church be what it was made to be, and that is made up of people who love Jesus and are following him. And then what happens from that, we're going to be able to see the fruit. And when I sit back now and watch, I'm like, yeah, like God's doing that in the people of Life Church, and the leaders, of Life Church are exemplifying, like, blow it up. And it's going to be hard, right? Because it's way easier just to follow a script.
Yeah.
And you guys aren't. And so I'm just saying, I'm really proud of you guys for the things that you're doing. And I think God's honoring that with, my men's group last night. Just to see, 45, 50 guys sit around in a room, guys, saying how Life Church has transformed their life.
Wow.
And what they're saying is obviously God has done the transformation,
Right.
but you've provided the space.
Yeah.
Right. And that's all we can do. Like, we're only going to take credit for what we can, which is we listened, provided space for, and then allowed God to work. And to think, if you would have told me 18 years ago that I could sit around with 50 men who were like, this has changed my life, I would have said, no way. Like, it's not possible. And it only happens when people are willing to have courage like you guys, to take steps of faith, to walk out and allow God to do, to stay engaged. Like, this is the other thing I love about you guys is you've stayed engaged even in the valley, right? Like, I'm not giving up. Like, I'm not going to give up. Satan's not going to win. I'm not going to let him, and so even through the valley, he's walking with me. And when we do that, God is faithful, and he's showing his faithfulness through what he's doing in the lives of other people. So I love it. So encouraged, so proud of you guys. And again, as the old man of the group, I am very proud of you and proud of the things that you guys are doing here and allowing God to work through you in so many different ways. So
well, thank you for giving us the space to do so.
Right.
Thank you for being the leader to lead us as well.
Yeah.
So give a preview, a really quick preview of why somebody should know preview of EV.
Short one.
No, I know.
Short one.
No, just a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Just why they should come.
Yeah, so remember, Jenny was saying this, and I don't honestly know if we're recording, but Jenny talks about why do we do Eve, Corinne? Why is it important to us as a church? Maybe that part of it.
Yeah.
And how, we'd love for you to be engaged.
We do Eve because we want to give people, like you had said, the opportunity to bring your friends. We want to create an experience where, we're not, it's not that we're inviting God in, but he's already here, but we're giving the opportunity that, you can invite your friend, you can bring your friend to this service. And, we believe that God's going to meet him here. We do it on the 23rd because we want to give opportunity for you guys. If you have, Christmas Eve plans, you can go do your family thing. Yeah. So, we do that on the 23rd to give ample space and time. But again, it's for, we're doing things with lights and fun.
Yes,
and
we are.
Just imagine, it's just going to be awesome. But so that we can, capture attention and then bring it to what really truly matters. And that's the gospel.
Right.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. And it's going to be exciting. You don't want to miss. Don't forget, the only way we're not meeting for this is, and again, I don't even know where you see these things at, but if it's on the TV and it's red,
I think it's in
that's the only thing that's going to keep us. Otherwise, whoever shows up, we've always trusted this for all of our life. Whoever shows up is who it's for, and we're trusting that God's going to do amazing things through that. So Jenny, Nick's gone, so we're not probably going to put the text message thing up there.
No, Rayan's got it.
Okay, Rayan's up there.
Yeah. All right.
So Jenny, you can send us out like you always do with how people can stay engaged.
Okay.
When to put it on and when to take it off.
Okay, you can just go ahead and put it on right now.
Okay.
All right, so the number that she's about to put down on the screen, 260-40. I forgot it for some reason. 408-8383. That is the text that is the number that we want you to text. So to get on our texting group, you have to text podcast to that number, and that will get you on our group texts and everything that we send out once a week to let you know who's going to be on the podcast. And then we want you to ask questions for them. So that way you can find out things that you want to know and for you to be involved. And you can also text us after hours about if you know somebody wants to be a guest, if you want to be a guest, if you have a question, comment, concern, anything.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And this is our last podcast of 2022.
That's it?
Yeah. So we will see them next year. I need you to say that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought we were doing one on the 28th.
Well, yes, but it won't be out till the 1st.
Oh, got it.
So this is the last official one of 2022.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Let's first say this. So, Corinne, thanks for filling in.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yes.
I love you. It's so good. It's so exciting to watch what God's doing in your life. And I'm super excited to continue to see your leadership grow, how God's going to use you. And again, I have said it to you, probably not enough, but I am super amazed about how you have evolved the ministry and how God is using you to do some amazing things. And just super, super proud of you.
Thank you.
And if you're listening to the podcast, this is the last one of this year, but just remember this. So we're huge on intentionality. So I want you to remember that we're not just doing this to fill time, right? The idea is not to fill time, to have something to do. But if you're listening to the podcast and or watching it, it's because we want you to get to know people, right? That we're passionate about people. We're passionate about people being in relationships with people. And, maybe if this is, you're seeing this as a link and you want to join in, the reason we want you to join in is because we're trying to give you an opportunity to get to know people, right? Like a chance, a conversation starter. You can say, wow, I know something now about a person. We're praying that people are going to learn from each one of our lives. Every one of our lives are a story.
Yeah.
And we're praying that if you're listening out there, that you'll hear things through these stories that will be encouraging to you. And most of all, we just want to honor God, right? And whatever it is that he wants us to do. And at this point, we believe that he has great things in store for our guests in the future. We'd love for you to keep listening, to subscribe, like, comment. We'd love for you to do that. We'd love for you to share it. So whichever way that you can share this, if it's through the links that Jenny's putting out and or just through talking to people, like this is a podcast you need to be listening to so you can get to know people and see how we serve a living God that's doing incredible things through the lives of people.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us this week. Thanks for joining us this year.
Yes.
We'll see you
next year. Woo!